Hello my dudes and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be making some Dango, a Japanese treat. So let's get started.
Okay everybody, full disclosure, this is my first time ever making this recipe, so I'm going to point out my mistakes as I go. First you're going to put your skewers in water, then we're going to fill a pot with water and go ahead and bring that to a boil, and we're going to get another bowl of ice water going. Next we're going to make our sauce by adding 150 milliliters of water, to which we're going to end up adding 4 tablespoons of sugar. It's going to give us our sweet flavors. And then we're going to add 2 tablespoons of soy sauce or gluten-free tamari and 2 tablespoons of mirin. Now here comes my first mistake. I used 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, only used 1. This made my syrup way too thick. Next we're going to grab our rice flour for this. I'm using shiratamako and joshinko flour. I'm going to call that J and I flour now because I know I butchered pronunciations. Pour an even amount into a bowl. I used 150 grams of each, like so. And then go ahead and give them a tiny whisk so they're nice and combined together. Nothing fancy here, just a brief whisk. Next we're going to grab 150 milliliters of water that is very hot, but not quite boiling. And we're going to go ahead and stir this in the bowl until it's hard to stir with our chopsticks. Then we're going to go ahead and knead this like a normal dough. I ended up picking it up out of the bowl like a pizza ball and kind of fold it together like this. Next, we're going to go ahead and completely weird out our wife by touching her earlobe. This is because you want the dough to actually feel like an earlobe when it's done. See that springiness? Feels like an earlobe, that means we're good to go. Next, we're going to go ahead and measure out our dough and try to equal out into even balls. This is where I messed up. I decided to do 20 gram balls. This was way too big, and you ended up with more just plain rice flavor. What you want is probably about 15 grams to maybe 13 at most, and at the smallest. Next, we're going to add all our balls all at once very quickly to the boiling water, like so. We want these to cook at the same time. We're going to stir those with a chopstick so they don't stick to the bottom, like so. And then when they start to float like this, you're going to set a timer for exactly 2 minutes to let them finish off. And then at the end of that timer, your balls are going to be nice and springy like so. Go ahead and grab a scoop, and we're going to throw those in the ice bath immediately to stop the cooking. This is called shocking. And then we're going to go ahead and cook our sauce. Bring your sauce to a boil. And then add 1 tablespoon of cornstarch. You can see right here that my sauce gets way too thick, almost turns into a jelly. But it's okay, the flavor profile was fine, it just was a little bit too thick. So only use 1 tablespoon of cornstarch, people. I've warned you. Look at them stir. Next, grab your bamboo skewers and add either 5 to 4 pieces per skewer. You can even go as low as 3. And go ahead and set them up like so. Now traditionally they finish these off with a yakitori grill. I don't have one, so I'm going to be using a frying pan and a torch. So this is going to give it a nice little toast on the outside and give it that kind of grill marks. Well, fake grill marks. And you're going to go ahead and plate it with some sauce. Here's my final mistake. Use way more sauce. I was way too light with this. Now let's go to the wifey test.
Okay, wifey test.
Wifey test. Dango.
Okay, be careful eating it. It's kind of pokey. What does it taste like? Ooh, you do not look convinced.
Slightly sweet.
It's almost like a sweet and savory tteokbokki. Or just maybe more more glaze.
What happened if you fry them?
Maybe I'll fry them. Oh, I never had Dongo before. I think I just need to sauce some more.
They almost remind me of like the fish balls, but not fishy, you know what I mean? Like the consistency of fish balls.
They're definitely soft like a mochi, which is nice. Which is not what we think of traditionally in America as dessert.
Well, it's good because, I mean, I don't like super sweet, so it's kind of good.
I have to tweak the sauce. That's what it needs. The sauce needs to be tweaked. Maybe some sugar added to the rice flour. Just to get a little bit more sweetness, make it more American palate. Our food's
Just a little more sweet, like not.
Yeah, our food's
crazy
really
sweet.
sugary in America. Okay, well, cut the future me. Looks good though. Look how pretty that is. Alright, so that's gonna wrap up for today's video. That was Japanese Dango. It was a pretty interesting treat. If I was gonna do it again, I'd make smaller balls and use way more sauce than I did the first time. I actually did put way more sauce off camera on one, and it came out a lot better. So, just a little hot tip. But anyway, if you could like, comment, and subscribe, really helps me out. And as always, toodles.